don't think it'll really settle in. You know, it might be a couple weeks from now, it might be 5, 10 years from now when you really understand what you've accomplished. It's really hard to win one state championship, and it's exceptionally hard to win 2. Okay? And the thing about it is, you guys did it, and you knew exactly what you were in for, and we took the roughest road, and we got it done. And I really respect you, and I compliment you for that. Coach Munn?
I'd just like to say, talk to you guys on Tuesday, about not having to look back and not have that second ring, because then the rest of your life that haunts you, hey, you don't need to worry about it.
I played with these guys in 8th grade, and then in 9th grade they went to high school. And I mean, every team's got a personality, you know, and you always, when the team leaves, you always miss that personality, but then you grow on the next team. And this is like, you know, in 8th grade when we went, you know, won the junior high league or whatever. We were close then, and even with the different grades, junior, senior, when we split up, when we came back together this year, it was like there was no break. You know, I mean, the friendship was still there with the year in between. Last 2 years, and I like to thank Mr. Beers for starting us all off. I know. Yeah.
Here he is, Brian Smith. You know, last year when we were here, you said back-to-back.
That's
and
right.
Here we are, huh?
Here we are. I knew we could do it. I had to say it then, make our goal then. I knew we could do it, and we did it.
Say it.
Back-to-back, baby. Yeah! For us to be able to show on on statewide TV and great that we can show that we're a team, that we're a real team, you know, that we don't have one dimension. And I'm just glad that it happened. I can say back-to-back one more time, baby.
That's Brian Smith. You could stop the wishbone if you just gave him short yardage and not let them have the long one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what we did in the third quarter. We maybe 1 yard here, 1 yard there, but after 4 downs, it only gets them 4 yards. So.
Well, there we go, Casperell. You hear it from the locker room. Kingdome, second victory in a row.
Thanks a lot.
What does it feel like?
It's great. It's great. I'm gonna weld my 2 rings together.
Number 70, Bernie Johnson.
Yeah.
What was it like, Bernie?
It was great. It was awesome.
Last night I was in Seattle at the Husky Awards banquet, and I said, we got some guys to look at for Curtis, including Bernie Johnson. He said, we're looking at him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tough, eh? What does it feel like to win 2 in a row?
It's great. It's like winning 2 Super Bowls or something.
2 Super Bowls. Well, that's Bernie Johnson, number 70, one of the studs inside. He's out there running that little quarterback sweep, and you grabbed the guy from the jersey, and you didn't let go, and he spun you around a couple times, but you held on. What was that like?
That was the greatest feeling I've had. I knew I had to get at least 1 sack that game, and I knew once I got in there I had to get the sack because they had a great running offense, and they kept on pounding on me and pounding on it. And I knew once I got through I could get them, and I got through and I got them. And that was the greatest moment of the game so far for me.
The play was, and you overshifted on that side, and you're able to stop it.
Yeah, Brian Smith and Casperell just kept on calling the plays, and we did exactly what they were doing, and we all just kept on the same page, and we just stopped them, we stuffed them. We knew we could do it the whole time.
Well, you know, they had a great article in the paper last week, and they say you're the guy that's too small to play football. But I'll tell you what, if everybody plays the size that you play, Curtis would never lose a football game.
Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that.
So here we have Tim Flynn and Eric Munson showing us what back-to-back visually means. Is this what we're looking at here, guys?
That's right, back-to-back championships.
Only 3 teams in the history of the state of Washington can say that.
Yeah, we're one of them that can say it, and we're going to say it for a long time.
What did you have to do to stop that scrambling quarterback that kind of hurt us a little bit there in the first half?
We just had to get the ball in the hands of the offense. Because he didn't hurt us once we had the ball. We killed him. But we made our adjustments at halftime. And
you were able to contain the triple option, giving up only a couple of really long plays, one for 27 yards, I think, something like that, wasn't it, Don? Late in the game, and of course they got a few passes, but other than that, you gave yards grudgingly.
Yeah, I think our defense had to, just make the adjustments, had to flow together, had to work together a little bit. Once they did that, thanks, Singor. Once they did that, we were in a lot better shape. Again, like I say, offensively, we could do no wrong. Defensively, triple option, tough to stop. And we went out and stopped it when they're only getting 14 points, and, we're stopping it.
What can we look forward to next year from this team?
Well, as far as offensively, we have our quarterback and our 2 receivers who all had a heck of a game tonight.
Heck good preview tonight of what we're going to see next year.
Accurate. We have a great line coming back. A lot of young linemen played a lot this year. Just as tough next year as it looks right now.
It'll be very hard to replace Singor Mobley and Brian Smith, though, and not just necessarily talent-wise, but leadership-wise.
Singer running against this big, tough defensive line.
It was pretty tough. I mean, they shut me down. Sometimes they didn't. I just try to stay in the game as much as possible.
You had some great defensive hits where you chased the guy down from behind and flipped him backwards.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's what they put me out there to do, so I had to do it.
Well, here's a guy that does the job. He's done it for a couple of years, and we're really looking forward to you in the future. You've had a fantastic career at Curtis. We're most proud of you and your efforts, and we'll surely be looking forward to you in the future. Fantastic career.
Thanks.
Surprise you anyway?
Not really. I just don't think at the beginning, it took a while for us to get going, and then we pretty much controlled it.
Great third quarter, huh?
Yeah, true. We had a lot of Brian Smith made some great efforts on offense and stuff like that. So great team effort, though.
Well, we're proud of you guys. You're fantastic. This memory will, like Coach says, will grow on you as the years go by. And every year it'll mean something a little bit different to you.
Oh, yeah.
We're real proud of you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you.
Excellent. Like playing against those defenders. I mean, you're just beating them all night long.
Yeah, they'd fall for any kind of like juke or something, and the pass was open, and Jensen was just beautifully throwing the ball.
Brian was putting him right on the mark. Where that one was just right over your shoulder. You took it in full stride and took it in.
Yeah, they were all just easy catches because Jensen just made it so simple.
You gave Holmesworth a couple of good shots, too, and he was down for quite a while.
Yeah, he gave me a few, too. My toes and stuff hurt.
Well, Justin, you had a fantastic last 2 out of 3 games. You had a good career all along. I know you want to catch the ball, and you don't always get an opportunity, but, boy, you sure look great on television, by the way, statewide tonight.
Thanks. Next year, that's our year, I say right now.
So you'll be back next year. We'll see more of the stuff out of these Vikings. Maybe it'll be back to back to back, huh?
That's right.
Justin Sundquist, a fantastic receiver for the Vikings.
It was pretty tough because everybody prepared for you, as a number one team like you were. So other teams kind of had the advantage because other teams wouldn't prepare as much for them and stuff. So it made our games a lot tougher.
How would you compare Richland to this Newport team?
I think Richland was a little bit better. They had a lot better passing game, as you could see. And their defense, I think, was a little bit tougher. Newport was a good team, but I think Richland was a little bit better.
Well, Andy, you've done a great job. You've hung in there, and we're real proud of you. I know you want to carry the ball more. Maybe you get a chance to later.
Yep. Thank you.
Andy Purvis from the Kingdome locker room. Job on that two-pointer. The guy went for the fake, and then you went in on it.
I don't understand. It's been there for us all year long. Every time we've tried it, it's worked. And heck, if I was the other teams, I'd be scouting that and cover that every time. But they don't. It's wide open. Brian makes a good throw every time, and we get it. So. Was
it tough trying to seal the end on those sweeps coming around there and the linebackers?
The end would play inside me, and it was really easy to block him inside, and I just pretty much controlled him all night. He was getting pretty pissed at me, so yeah, it's a great game.
Well, you're a champion now of the state for 2 years in a row. Have you thought about that?
Well, I think it's hitting me. I don't know. It'll probably hit me later on tonight, but it feels great, let me tell you.
Do you know how many teams would like to be here and aren't?
Yes, I do, 79.
All right. Bryce Beard. A bunch of center on the team, and you're the guy that always hustles up and leads the team up to the ball on the offense, right?
Yeah, I took a little bit of heat earlier in the year because I wasn't doing that, and Jason DeStefano did last year. It's not really by choice. It's kind of by pressure from the coaching staff and the team.
Did you have to handle the middle garden there very much tonight?
No, they were in an even front. 79 was right there, and 64 was over Aaron Albertson. So, but when they pull, I have to fill for them.
Couple tough games in a row now, and now you're the champions of the state for the second year in a row. What does that feel like?
It feels good, but I sort of feel I'm a junior this year, and I sort of feel that it's all for nil if we don't do it again next year.
And so it could possibly be back to back to back?
I'd like to say three-peat in the future.
He said three-peat, Gus. That's a new one. Don't go anywhere, Joe.
We'll see. I do want to say that the last 2 years, actually the last 8 years, have been really good, and last 2 years especially have been real special, and those guys in there have, they're a special place in my heart. So.
Joe Keller calling the plays up in the booth, and last week was a treat for us because when they came up to the line, you guys said it'll go on that first play, and it sure went, didn't it?
It sure did. you see that kind of stuff as a coach, and that's what lights your fire and kind of makes it all worthwhile when you can kind of get things working right and you see something and when it happens, it's great.
Just realize that you also are a coaching staff of a championship team too, as compared to the rest of the coaching staffs of the state. Forget about the players, and that's a real honor too.
Well, yeah, great, thanks.
Joe Keller, you make the citizens of University Place and Tacoma and the state of Washington very proud for the efforts that you guys put out week in and week out, year in and year out. We just like to know we're proud of you guys.
Well, thanks, Jerry. That really means a lot. We set out with our goals. We set our goals every year, and one of those goals is to represent the school and the community and ourselves well. And I'm really proud of our kids because they've done that.
Any little quick peek at what we might see next year, Coach?
Probably Jensen throwing the ball a lot to Dumas and Sundquist. Okay. Those kids will be good, and they're good this year. And I think people got enough of a glimpse of it.
Some final season stats for that 1990 state championship season. For the Curtis Vikings, the per game average, Curtis rushing yards 198.5 to only 88.4 for their 13 opponents. Passing yards about even, Curtis ahead by about 3 yards per game. First downs, Curtis 13.7 to 11.3. Offensive yards per play, 6.2 to 4.1, and Curtis beat every opponent throughout the entire season in offensive yards per play. Also, turnover is a very great stat. Curtis only 1.6 per game to 3. They were up by 19, a plus 19 in turnovers for the season. Points, Curtis beat their average by 2 touchdowns, up 16 points over their opponents on average for the season. And that does it for KGUS. Hope you enjoy the tape. Bye-bye.